Hello everybody and welcome to the party. Today we're going to be trying out something new. We're going to be playing a little bit of Mass Effect 2, going into Mass Effect 3 once we finish this. I've wanted to play this for a little bit now. I've played it before. This is the Legendary Edition. And they've added a bunch of, or they've updated a bunch of mods that used to be on the regular edition that are on the Legendary Edition now. So I'm giving it a playthrough with y'all. And we're gonna see how it works. There are a bunch of mods here, not as many for Mass Effect 2, but a bunch for Mass Effect 3. So we're gonna play through 2, make some decisions, and go on to Mass Effect 3. We were gonna play through Mass Effect 1, but it did not work. It did not want to launch. So I don't know what's up with that, but every time I tried to launch it, it just would crash. So we're just gonna go straight into Mass Effect 2. There are a bunch of decisions here that have been made. Save the Council. I just basically took an old save I had. And I just stole it from it's a save that I originally had that I stole from the Mass Effect save site. So this one is from someone else originally. They saved the Council, they saved, I believe, Kaidan, but it could have been Ashley, I'm not sure. But you'll get into it for those of you who haven't played Mass Effect. I definitely recommend it. It's a really fun game. But we're going to start off with Mass Effect 2, and I will try to explain anything that seems a little bit confusing. But I hope you guys like it, and let's get started and see where the journey takes us. I am doing this on controller, but my controller is being a little finicky, so we will see if it actually even wants to work.
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And still, it's not enough.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
But they're sending her to fight Geth. Geth! We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow her. She's a hero, a bloody icon. But she's just one woman. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose her.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active. Board is green. We are running silent.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
Cruiser is changing course. Now on intercept trajectory.
Can't be. Stealth systems are engaged. There's no way a Geth ship could possibly...
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers!
Presley!
Kinetic barriers down. Multiple hull breaches. Weapons offline. Somebody get that fire out.
Shepard!
Distress beacon is ready for launch. Will the Alliance get here in time? The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttles. Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't evacuate. I'm not leaving either. I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttles. I'll take care of Joker. Shepard. Liara, go. Now. Aye, aye. Everybody in! Go, go, go!
Let's begin. So this is a lot more impactful if you have played Mass Effect 1.
Mayday! This is SSV Normandy!
Because some of those people that died are your crew members that you work with and talk to all the time in Mass Effect 1. And then seeing your ship being destroyed. This is your ship from the first game. It's, you know it inside and out. So it's very sad, but it's what happens. You're investigating the council.
We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy.
And now it's being destroyed.
Come on, baby, hold together. Hold together.
And the whole bridge area, or the command area, is vented into space. But a little background. The Reapers are the big bad of the series. They are the main big bad. They come around every 50,000 years and basically wipe out all life in the galaxy. No one knows why, and it's not even really proof that they exist. They almost succeeded in starting their invasion in the last game, in Mass Effect 1. We barely held them off at great cost with massive losses. And now the Council wants to pretend it didn't happen and wants to blame these Geth, which are basically robots. They're synthetic AIs that have become fully evolved and fully unshackled because their creators realized that they were getting sentience and tried to kill them all. Well, in self-defense, they rebelled. We'll learn more about that later. But the Geth are not exactly the bad guys. They just have a bad rap.
Come on, Joker. We have to get out of here.
No, I won't abandon the Normandy. I can still save her.
The Normandy's lost. Going down with the ship won't change that.
Yeah, okay. Help me up.
And Joker is your pilot.
We're
He
going around
is
for another attack.
played by, I believe, Seth.
Watch the arm.
We're losing oxygen. I'm sure we'll be fine. Yeah. Well, that's the end of Mass Effect 2, guys. Have fun. Thank you for watching. Just kidding. But anyways, the Reapers are synthetic AIs as well that are millions of years old, and they basically controlled the Geth and manipulated them, took over their synthetic AIs to make them serve them, and that's why they did what they did in the first game. We're going to go through Mass Effect Genesis. It is a part of the DLCs that allow you to basically reconfirm the choices you made during the first game, or maybe change some of them. This will give us a little bit of a summary of what happened in the first game. So because we couldn't play the first game, we will be doing this. And of course my controller decides to mess up right here. There we go. We will be reviewing the story. Okay. Man, it's always something, isn't it? Come on. There we go. Mass Effect Genesis. Interactive backstory comic. This was back when BioWare was good.
Just another routine mission. Why do they always say that before a mission? Of course it's routine. You haven't done anything yet. It's everything that happens along the way. The choices you make. The paths you choose. That turn the routine into anything but. Of course, that's how it started. A routine mission. Answering a distress call. And look where that got me. We were testing out the Normandy, Captain Anderson's new ship, when the distress call came in. An Alliance patrol on Eden Prime had been attacked. They'd seen something they couldn't explain. And whatever it was massive. I hit the ground with my lieutenant, Caden Alenko. A good kid, loyal, by the book, with a talent for biotics. We came across the lone survivor of the patrol, Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams. A soldier to the core. Tough, disciplined, ready to take on whatever came her way. Ashley joined up with us and took us to the spot where she lost her squad. That's when we saw it. The ship. Like nothing I'd ever seen. It was massive, scorching the colony and everything around it as it blasted away. We followed the path of destruction to an artifact, a beacon left by a long-dead race called the Protheans. The colony had dug it up, and whoever attacked them had tried to take it. Lieutenant Alenko made the mistake of getting too close. He hit him with some type of energy. I grabbed him and threw him out of the way. That's when it hit me. Hard. Every muscle in my body went rigid. I couldn't move, could barely breathe. Everything went black. And then I saw something. A vision. Dream. A nightmare. By the time I woke up, we were halfway to the Citadel on our way to meet the Council. I was expected to explain what I'd seen. Anderson came along. So did Udina, our political representative on the Citadel. With those two heavyweights, it seemed reasonable we could persuade the Council that the ship we'd seen was a potential threat. As was the individual behind the attacks. The main suspect for the Eden Prime massacre was a Turian Spectre named Saren. He'd been seen by one of the survivors from the colony at Eden Prime, and there was some evidence to suggest that the ship was connected to Saren. But even Udina's pointed accusations weren't enough to convince the Council. They just couldn't believe one of their chosen elite Spectres could be guilty of something like that. They needed proof, which meant I needed proof. Fortunately, I wasn't alone in my search. Garrus, another Turian, wanted to help. A top agent for Citadel security. Despite orders from his superiors that he shouldn't get involved, he told me he was suspicious of Saren and he had some useful leads. More importantly, he was willing to share them. That led me to Rex, the biggest, nastiest looking Krogan bounty hunter I'd ever seen. He turned out to be more than just a brute. It was his intel that led us to a fugitive with incriminating evidence on Saren. The fugitive turned out to be an energetic little Quarian named Tali. A tech expert with a knack for hacking. She'd procured some information on Saren.
Tali's the best.
Evidence that proved Saren was dirty. Tali's evidence proved that Saren was responsible for the massacre on Eden Prime, and the immense warship we'd spotted was in fact Saren's flagship. But it went much further. Saren was trying to find a way to bring back a race of sentient machines from dark space. Machines allegedly responsible for cleansing the galaxy of all organic life. These Reapers were blamed for wiping out all life 50,000 years ago, including the Protheans, then disappearing back through the mass relays to dark space, leaving no trace that they'd ever been. That explained why Saren was after the beacon, and it made some sense out of my visions, but not much else. We couldn't convince the Council that the Reapers were a threat, but they agreed Saren had to be stopped. They stripped him of his Spectre status and gave me the honor of becoming the first human Spectre. My first task? Bring down Saren. Anderson decided to stay behind, giving up his ship, the Normandy. He told me I'd need it more than he would. He also pointed me in a direction. Liara, a Prothean expert, adept in biotics, and maybe most importantly, daughter of Benezia, Saren's top lieutenant. And like most Asari, as beautiful as she is intelligent, and born with a unique ability to meld with other species. Liara was able to help me decipher some of the vision the beacon had given me. Nothing concrete, but it gave me some clues. And a new appreciation for the Asari. Her technique for accessing my vision was unexpected, but not at all unpleasant. Kaidan was a little concerned about the connection I shared with Liara. As commander, I knew either relationship had the potential to interfere with the mission. I told Liara about how I felt. Apparently, she felt it too. But we agreed we wouldn't let it get in the way of our mission, finding Saren. Thanks to Liara's help, we had our next lead, Benezia. Saren had taken her to Noveria, where he'd enslaved the queen of a dangerous race of insect-like creatures, the Rachni. He ordered Benezia to use the same technique Liara had used on me to extract information from the Rachni Queen. The Queen's drones were everywhere, and they were not happy. We had to fight through hundreds of them to get to Benezia. By the time we arrived, Saren was gone, with the information. I tried to reason with Benezia, but Saren had indoctrinated her. He had somehow acquired the ability to control people's actions and wills. Benezia wouldn't surrender, and Liara was forced to watch her mother die in her arms. And I was left with an angry, dangerous Rachni Queen to deal with. She claimed her drones would do no harm if I released her. But the Rachni had terrorized the galaxy before. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't doom an entire species for past sins. And the Queen was true to her word. She left and took her army of drones with her. With Saren's top lieutenant dead, he was quickly running out of time and places to hide. I tracked him down at his base on Vermeer, but we soon learned it was more than a base of operations. It was a breeding ground. Saren was breeding an army of Krogan. He'd found a cure for the genophage, a disease inflicted on the Krogan to prevent them from breeding and taking over the galaxy. But the Krogan Saren was breeding were slaves, mindless beasts that obeyed Saren's will. I had to destroy the base and all its research. Rex disagreed. Violently. Rex wanted the genophage cure for his people. I tried to convince him to help me destroy it, that these Krogan weren't real. But he wouldn't back down. Fortunately, Rex is smarter than he looks. He realized this wasn't the way to help his people, and that Saren was the real threat. When we finally got to the center of the base, I realized just how close Saren was to completing his plan. He was already in communication with the Reapers. Sovereign, Saren's flagship we'd all assumed was just a ship, was a Reaper. It spoke to me, threatened me. I could feel the menace it had for every living thing. It wanted me dead. It wanted us all dead. And I knew it was capable of doing just that. What I couldn't understand was why Saren would help it. But there was no time to think about it. Sovereign knew where we were. We had to destroy the base and get the hell out. I split my team into 2 squads, sending Ash with one and Kaidan with the other as a distraction. We had a nuke and we planned to use it. Before we could detonate the bomb, Saren showed up. We fought. I stalled him to make time for my team. And in talking to him, I realized the truth. It wasn't Saren who was indoctrinating everyone. It was Sovereign, the Reaper. And Saren was in deeper than all of them. He tried to convince me he was still in control. Said he'd found a way to reduce the Reaper's influence, but he was kidding himself. or believing the lies Sovereign was telling him. Before I could convince him to stop, he ran, leaving me just seconds to extract my squad mates. I tried, but it wasn't fast enough. I could only save one of them. Kaidan was a good man and a great soldier. But I had to choose. And I chose Ash. That was the last time Saren would slip away from me. I knew then, the next time we met, one of us would die. With my team mostly intact, we chased Saren and his army to Ilos, a long-lost planet that had once belonged to the Protheans. As we prepared for what we knew would be a desperate fight, I spoke to my crew. We were just one ship, against Saren's growing army. I assured them all that despite the odds, we could defeat him. Liara saw through my words. She knew I was hurting after Kaidan's death. She could sense my doubts. We both knew this mission could be our last. Until that moment, we put our feelings aside for the sake of the mission. But why wait? We gave in to each other. And it was perfect. While it lasted. We arrived on Ilos close behind Saren. Once on the planet, we discovered a Prothean databank that helped me put the final pieces of my vision together. The Reapers had come 50,000 years ago, and every 50,000 years before that, each time purging the galaxy of life. The Protheans had fought and died like every species before them, but a few survived long enough to leave a parting gift. The Protheans had discovered that the Citadel was the key to controlling the mass relays. By sabotaging the Citadel, they found a way to close the relays to dark space, slowing the Reapers' return, giving us the time we needed to find a solution to stop the Reapers once and for all. Saren knew this. He was leading his army to take control of the Citadel and re-establish the relays to dark space, bringing the waiting Reapers here to destroy us all. We followed him to the Citadel. It was intact, but heavily damaged. He'd caught the Council fleets by surprise, and they were only now regrouping. And with Sovereign as his flagship, there was little hope that the fleets could counterattack with enough strength to take back the Citadel. But Saren was done running, and I was done chasing him. As the Alliance and Council fleets battled Saren's army outside the Citadel, I cornered the Turian bastard in the Citadel tower and confronted him. He died believing that the Reapers would save him. As I fought to regain control of the Citadel, the Council's flagship, the Destiny Ascension, fell under attack. Despite Saren's death, Sovereign and Saren's army continued to fight. The Council was aboard the Destiny Ascension and they were requesting assistance. But I knew in order to help them, I would have to put our human Alliance fleet in jeopardy. The Council had to be saved. They represented the hearts and minds of the galactic community. Without them, the fleets would be in disarray. Even with the Citadel back in my control, Saren defeated and the Normandy leading the combined galactic fleet. The battle against Sovereign, a single Reaper, was relentless. It took the combined fleets of humanity and the other races, but in the end, Sovereign fell. But the costs were immense. While humanity's efforts in the war earned us our first seat on the Council, it was a hollow victory. The Reapers were still out there. I knew the fight was far from over, but as the one who'd led the fight against Saren, I was given new responsibilities. The choice of humanity's first counselor was left to me to decide. On the one hand, Udina, the lifetime politician, ruthless and ambitious, he would easily navigate the political landmines that would soon be placed before him. The other choice, Captain Anderson, the career soldier, tough but fair, but a friend, and someone I could trust. Both great leaders in their own right.
And it's stupid controller. We are going to be choosing Anderson because Udina's a twat. He sucks, and he's the worst. If you choose him, just for, sake of saying what happens, he basically, tries to... He's just the worst. He's honestly the worst. And if you let the Council die instead of saving their ship, instead of bringing back the other aliens into the Council races, into the Council, he floods it with nothing but humans and basically makes it incredibly racist and everybody hates us. And they don't really care much for us either, even though we gave him the job. And Odina sucks. He's just rude to us as well. So we'll go with Anderson, who is really cool. He is everybody's favorite dad. He is cool. So we're going Anderson.
Anderson didn't want the job, which was a sure sign he'd be perfect for it. No ambition to get in the way. The war was over. The threat had passed. In time, the Council would rebuild itself. The Citadel could be repaired. Even the pain of lost friends would fade. But none of that mattered if the Reapers were still out there. And if they were all as powerful as Sovereign, we had to find a way to stop them. I had to find a way. I gathered my crew, took my ship, and went in search of answers. Officially, the Council would only say I was assigned cleanup duty, routing out any remnants of Saren's army. Just another routine mission.
And it went terribly wrong.
Commander Shepard has been recovered. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
To give a little bit of more background as to the galaxy, this universe is set in our universe. It's just set in the not-so-distant future. I believe it's 2099, but I could be wrong. Or I think that's when it, like, really jumps in. Basically, they explore Pluto, and they find a mass relay on Pluto. Mass relay is what this galaxy uses, and what the Protheans use, and every other group use, every other race in history used to traverse the galaxy. You basically enter it, and it launches you across space to another point in time, which is another what's called we're gonna do a custom appearance. It launches you to another area where there is a mass relay. Well, we activated ours that we found on Pluto. It launched us somewhere where the Taurians were. Oh, sorry, no, it launched us somewhere else. We found another mass relay there and tried to activate it, and that's where the Taurians found us. And basically, the Taurians are the military arm of the Council races. They are entirely military-based. Their entire history and culture is service and military service and everything. So it's heavily against Council law to activate mass relays. Because, or against galactic law to activate mass relays, because the last time one was activated, the Rachni poured into the galaxy. And it was talking about the Rachni Queen and said she would go off and do her own thing. Well, the Rachni flooded into the galaxy the first time that mass relay was activated, and proceeded to nearly destroy the galaxy. The Krogan, who Rex is a Krogan, were uplifted from primitive status and given enough tools and supplies and like everything they need to be able to join society, a galactic civilization, with the one purpose of helping defeat the Rachni. They did this and started breeding and going crazy because they had a crazy quick breeding cycle, and they started overwhelming the galaxy with Krogans. Which isn't a problem until you realize that the Krogans were uplifted because they're violent and militaristic. Well, they tried to negotiate for more rights and more land so they can breed and have more, of their culture out in the galaxy. And the Council said, yeah, no, we only need you for one thing. So the Krogans were like, no, and they launched a rebellion. Well, the Solarians, which are lizard people, basically, they're really cool. They're all scientists. They fit like that stereotype of just like the Taurian stereotype is military. The Solarians are spies and scientists. Well, they built a disease called the genophage that would sterilize the Krogans, and the Taurians implemented it and basically sterilized 99% of the Krogans across the galaxy, made their breeding basically where I think it's only 1 in 1,000 Krogan actually survive, till birth or shortly after. So the Krogans are dying out, and the only thing they want is either to win their place back in the galaxy or cure the genophage. So that's their main goal. But Shortly after we found our relay at Pluto, started activating other ones, the galaxy, we joined it, and the Torians fought us. We fought against them, defended ourselves, fought back, and there was a huge war, and the Council had to step in to stop it, and now we're at peace. And that's where we're at now. But it's a very interesting and in-depth lore, and we'll get into more of it as we go. But it is very cool. So now we're going to build our character. Probably could have been doing that this whole time, but I want to give a little bit of backstory, because this is a very in-depth game. It's a very in-depth series that is brought back. You can make yourself speak. That it really harkens back to old BioWare, where they actually cared about, you know, stories and things like that, and actually their games were decent and not just politics and everything else. It's a very good game. The series is amazing, and certain people complain about Mass Effect 3 because people say it's the low point in the series. It is not. I love it. It is honestly my favorite game in the series. But it's really fun. I love it. I'm trying to see what we want to do. Make our hair purple. Yeah. See. Brush color. Oh, blush, not brush. I'll probably edit this in a little bit to see what we can do to do better. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is what we'll have for now. I'm probably gonna change it, but yeah, we'll leave this here for now, and we'll continue on in the next episode. This is basically the prologue to us starting. But yeah, if you like my content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. If you have any comments, any ideas, any thoughts, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. But other than that, we'll leave that here for today. Have a great night.